Ka 16th Finance Commission kabadan hanong ba Shillong ban lum ye kijing ai jingmut na ka Sorkar jala bat kiwai pat ki bedan banta kumno ban pentelun ya ka mang bha tingka na ka Sorkar India shaki jala beper kala kadau ba ka Meghalaya ka dei ka wei na bdeng ki jala ki ba Shaniah ka Jingmih Pisa tang na ka Sorkar India. Habakran sigilat pathai kubor hakot yat Marian u Dr. Arvind Panagaria u chairman ka commission ulaong. Bakidan sibon kijing ai jingmut ki ba ka Sorkar jala Meghalaya lingba u menteri rangba u konrat kesang ma kala ai ha ka Atiar jingmut ha ka porman step. Ulaong ka Sorkar Meghalaya ka don ka thong ban penkot $10 billion ka yok ka kot house nam arja arpu praban wan. Dak bapen pau baga jalla Meghalaya ka dega jalla ka bapra baga commission kawan man yok jat bat lum ya kijing ai jingmut u Dr. Arvind ulaong baga jing Pynlut Pisa Meghalaya ka khamjur ban ya kijing penmi. Ulaong bagidan ki jaka ki terwa baka bahak Pisa na ka Sorkar India syaki jalla kan longno 100% omshu 20% kumbalong menswa.
The presentation came to the another very important aspect of the presentation was a discussion of the Mission 10, under which the state has a very ambitious plan, both of programs that it wants to undertake and the commitments it has to the people of Meghalaya, and the state is targeting to take the GDP to $10 billion by 2028, which would bring its per capita income to close to about $3,000, which is quite good. Meghalaya depends very heavily on central transfers, which are coming both from the Finance Commission, but also from the center. Non-FC transfers are also quite large. If you look at it, the debt to GDP ratio is rather high. And so also the fiscal deficit is high. Now part of it is explained away by the fact that the state has been making good use of the long-term capital grants that it's being given as a loan, 50-year loan, which obviously has and it's an interest-free loan for 50 years. So it's almost like a grant, but it's not quite a grant, and therefore it has to be actually taken into the debt to GDP ratio. It goes in there, so it gets a little bit overstated because of that. But still, I think I would say it is a bit on the high side. But we can take the views of our members here if they would want to bear on this particular issue. When I said that it's on the high side, it also included actually, the deficit that results from the capital grant. This is a sort of loan also. It counts as a borrowing, and that is what it raises the fiscal deficit number. And once you include that, it's closer to 5.5%, not 3.8.
So you mean to say that 50-year loan, interest-free loan should not be included in the, in the loan?
No, it's a loan. Therefore, accounting-wise, it will go in as borrowing.
Funds and all.
So now remember that the centrally sponsored schemes are central program. Those are central programs, central government's programs. Those are not FC programs. The Finance Commission, what its job is to take the divisible pool of central tax revenues and make recommendations on how those revenues for a 5-year period, which will start for this commission from 26-27, should be divided first between the central government and all the 28 states taken together. For the 15th commission, that was 41% for the states and 59% for the central government, right? So that's the vertical devolution. And then how is this share of the states to be divided among the 28 states? That is what the Finance Commission does. That's what I discussed earlier when I mentioned about the criteria that the state suggested. For example, they suggested that geographical dispersion of population should also receive a rate of 2.5 to 5% in the devolution. That was part of the horizontal devolution.
So will there?
No. It is only Meghalaya is only one of the 28 states. We will listen to all 28 states, but we also listen to the other stakeholders. We'll also listen to the central government. Obviously, central government is a major stakeholder in the process as well. But we also, like for example, in the month of April, we had come to in fact Shillong to consult with the economists and policy analysts of the Northeast. So this was a meeting organized at the Nehru, the university here. So that was an example. So then similarly we went to Vizag to do the consultation with the other stakeholders in the south, in Jaipur for western, Rajgir for eastern, and in Delhi for the northern. So we also have done 5 regional consultations. Those also are considered. We take from all citizens, so our website invites all citizens to give any suggestions that they would like to make to the Commission. So it's a very wide-ranging consultation that the Commission carries out. This is the 8th state, and we have heard 8th time for the increase from 41% to 50%, the vertical devolution. Normally, the commissions in the past have never taken a very large jump. 41 to 50 is an incredibly large jump. There are only 2 examples. The 7th Commission had done that, and then the 14th had done that. But general philosophy that the commissions have followed is that you should not disturb the status quo by excessively large amount, because that then disturbs the budgets of everybody. Even those who benefit can't absorb it fast enough, but those who lose on account of such a large, meaning it's a central government, for the central government, then it creates a very large imbalance very suddenly. And that leads the central government to, of course, react and respond. To the 14th, the way the central government then responded was over time, the share of cesses and surcharges which do not go into the divisible pool expended. Also the CSS, the centrally sponsored schemes, expenditures on CSS as a proportion of the gross tax revenue declined over time. So it leads to unintended consequences, and so generally finance commissions have gone, particularly with respect to the vertical devolution, moved only slowly. They changed the status quo only a little bit, incrementally. And same also goes for horizontal. Generally, horizontal devolution also, changes do happen, but they are generally incremental. Very rarely these changes become step jumps. Grants in aid come from the consolidated fund of the central government. So those are tricky, because currently, after the 14th Finance Commission, the devolution out of the central tax revenues is extremely large. So the central government, in a way, exercises its discretion whether it's from out of its own consolidated fund of India, whether it's going to further give grants according to the recommendations of the Finance Commission or not. So in any case, there's a very large set of proposals given by the Meghalaya government. Altogether, what 1 lakh something, right? 1 lakh crore, 1.2 lakh crore rupees worth of grants in aid requests over the 5-year period have been made by the Meghalaya government. Is the target, so multiply that by 3.5 or 34 lakh population, that will give you the GSDP target. All right, so we are having some issue here whether it was 1 billion or 10 billion, but what I did do was to calculate it very quickly what per capita income target was, and that's close to about $2,900 per capita per year, per capita GSDP. So multiply that by 34 lakh to get your GSDP target.
Habathin, page bahagi kishab, kashab plus F. ka plus F
Hakabam mengibam dunaki eki batai ye kamet. Namar kata habat thiru atau kau kamlu ka umpnyang kadut pet ya ka sharp plus F haka jingsom. Yaki nutrient kumki vitamin bat ka iron la icon diat bat ka bathau bha kam kta I ka dur jingki mar bam ka jingma lani ka rukom shed yaki.
Balehi banai kita.
Kadon ka we ka jing mentoy ba kongsan. Ka kot ka kia. Ka nutrition ba kambha ka jing im ba kambha pendon kam daki mar bam medon ka sharp plus F menta ka sni.
Lawan Ra Shapi Lingba ko office jong Commissionerate of Food Safety Meghalaya.